Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video in SQL Server quick question series. So today we are going to see a random SQL Server interview question. So if you are new to this channel, I highly recommend you to watch all the videos in the SQL Server playlist so you can understand each and every concept in SQL Server better. So let us see the question we got for today. So here we have two tables associated with this question. One is the account master and the transaction details table. The accounts master contains all the information about the account details, and the transaction contains the information about the transaction happened with those accounts. And we are going to calculate the result set as shown in the right hand side. So we are going to write a T-SQL query to find all the transaction done using debit card and the net banking. So based on the transaction, we are going to filter out only the transactions made by debit card and the net banking in the past 3 hours, and we are going to display the account details and the transaction details as shown below. We are going to display the account number and the account type, the branch ID along with the transaction date and type of transaction along with the amount that has been transferred. So let us get into the SSMS and solve this query. So here I have connected inside my SSMS. I am currently under the employees DB. So let me create this account master and let me create the transaction details table. So let us insert these values inside the table. So let us select both the table. Select start from account master and also transaction details. So in this account master, we have the account number, the customer number who created those account, and the branch ID along with the opening balance and account opening date, account type, and account status. So in this transaction details, we have the transaction number, the account in which the transaction has been made, and the transaction date along with the time, and the type of transaction. It is a online or offline mode, and the transaction type using debit card or a net banking or a cash. Also along with the transaction amount. So we are going to calculate only the transaction made through debit card and through the net banking. We are going to filter out only the last 3 hours transaction that has been made. So first let me select the account master table which contains all the details about the accounts, and let me take this as AM, and let me join this with the transaction details table. Let me take this as TD, and let me provide the join condition. I'm going to join both the table based on the account number. So we have account number in the account master mapping to the account number in the transaction table, TD dot account number. So now here I'm going to filter only the transaction made through debit card and the net banking. So those details has been mentioned in the transaction details table in the transaction type. So we can use the where class to filter out TD dot transaction type. So I am going to filter out if only the transaction type exists in this select list. So I am going to provide if the transaction is done using the debit card or using the net banking, and also we need to provide only the transactions made within 3 hours. So for this, first let us select the transaction date and time. So let me take this date of transaction, and I am going to compare this with the current date. If the transaction has been happened before 3 hours, I need to filter those records. So I provide greater than or equal to. I am going to get the date using the get date of function. So this will give me the current date and time. From this, let me use the data add function to calculate the hours. If it is before 3 hours, so let me give -3 as the second parameter and the get date as the third parameter. So now we can get all the transaction that has been made before 3 hours. So here we have the transaction date. So let us validate this by selecting the current date and time. So currently the time is 22:02 and we have all the records which are before 3 hours. So from this select list we are going to filter out only the necessary account details and the transaction details. So from this I need the account number and I need the account type and the branch ID, also the transaction date and the transaction type, finally the transaction amount. So let us select this. So here we got the result set. We have the account number, account type and the branch ID, date of transaction and the transaction type, which is only made through debit card and the net banking, and the transaction amount for those transactions. So we have filtered out for the last 3 hours using the debit card and the net banking. So we have used the in function to filter out if the transaction type exists in this select list, then it will be filtered out, and we have used the data function to get the 3 hours from now, and we have filtered all those transactions. So I hope this will be helpful for you. Please watch all the videos in the SQL Server playlist. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.